What's up, guys?
I guess can you update us on your knee, and is that a factor going forward? How did it feel today in practice?
I felt good today in practice, so just keep, seeing how it feels each day. Be ready for the game, I think, and, just take it one day at a time.
How do you work on eliminating the slow starts, especially in the first quarter?
We just have to execute better from the get-go, and whatever we work on stuff all week in practice, and we have to be able to translate that over to game day, and that takes everybody. We just can't have some of the things that we've been having: missed assignments, missed throws, drop passes. All those kind of things can lead to not being successful, and we got to eliminate those.
Any opinions on why that happens so early in the game?
I mean, I think everybody has opinions about it, but we're the only ones that know what's going on, and it's not. My job's not to come up here and tell everybody everything that goes on in this organization. So our job is to keep that stuff in-house and make sure that we get better from it, because it takes all of us.
Robert, I think you pretty much addressed what I was going to ask you, but you may want to expound on it. The Redskins are 8th in overall offense, but 16th in receiving. I wonder what you might attribute that to.
Just middle of the pack as far as throwing the ball and then all that good stuff. To me, the stats and rankings and stuff like that, it doesn't always tell the true story, in my opinion. And we struggled at times. We've been really great at times. Against Chicago, we threw the ball extremely well and ran the ball efficiently. And this past week, we didn't do that. So it's a week-to-week thing. We just need to be more consistent with it.
I know that you hate to continue answering this question, but I do wonder how you feel physically as opposed to the beginning of the season, and how much that is attributing to the 8th overall ranking offensively.
I feel better, but it takes all 11 of us out there to go out and be ranked 8th in offense, a total offense. There's one thing we're going to do, and teams know that we're going to run the football. And we just got to make sure we stay true to that, stay true to who we are, and the passing will come.
Obviously, every year the offense is going to look a little bit different because of what defenses give you, et cetera. How different is this year than last year, and how is that affecting the overall game?
I think every year is different, of course, but we just need to find that consistent place for all of us. Getting the plays run the right way, being where you're supposed to be, getting open, making the throw, staying on the field, all those things come into place. So, there's no secret. Like I said after the game, there's no secret sauce, no secret weapons. You just got to go out there and execute.
Robert, I know that you said already today that stats don't mean that much to you, but you've also always been a winner through your career most of the time. This team is 2-5, and last year you were so consistent with your passer ratings that it was so tough for you last Sunday. You're 21st in the league right now in passer rating. How shocking is that to you to see the team where it is and where you are in the passer ratings?
It sucks. And like I said, there's a lot of things that go into that, but it's not for me to discuss that stuff up here. We have to fix that stuff out there on the practice field and on the game field. Nothing that we say is going to change that. Talk doesn't help. You just got to go out and act and maybe make sure that you get out there and do the best you can.
Rob, you guys haven't had a consistent guy opposite of Pierre. Nobody has more than 19 catches. How badly do you need to have that balance over there, and what's it going to take to get your offense going with everybody clicking those receivers?
We definitely need to have balance in the receiving corps, but it's our job, me as a quarterback and the coaches, to put guys in the right positions to make plays, and we have to do that. There's nobody out there that's going to come in and save the day. We just got to make sure we go and work with the guys that we have and use their skills to the fullest.
What can you do to help those guys become more effective?
Like I said, we just got to execute better. I don't know what else to tell you guys.
Robert, receivers get a bad rap for being, quote, divas anyway, but are you okay with them when they speak their mind, either to us, if they're frustrated? I know you maybe don't want them to go Des Bryant, but are you okay with them voicing maybe their displeasure with what's going on?
These are grown men, so, I can't control what they say. Obviously, we're all in this together, and everybody's going to be frustrated here and there, but the only way for us to get better is to stick together, and that's what we got to do.
Robert, for you, where do you feel that you're different from last year? We can look at the numbers and talk stats, but just in your head, this point last year compared to right now?
I just think we're not as efficient as an offense, and that's the bottom line. Everyone wants to, point the finger at this, point the finger at that. I'm not going to do that. We're just not efficient. efficient enough as an offense. And yeah, we're ranked 8th, and all the rankings and all the yards, that's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, you got to win football games.
Robert, you were hit 13 times. A couple times took a pretty good licking there. When you have a game like that, when you're getting tossed around, does that affect you later in the game? Does it have a negative impact on how you play later?
You know, when you get hit, a lot of teams say get hits on the quarterback, it can affect them and make them try to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker out of the pocket, make them make some bad decisions. And, you know, I try to make sure that never happens. You got to make sure you take each play as its own play. And, yeah, somebody might get through here and there, but you got to still sit in that pocket and you got to make plays. And when the plays are there to be made, you got to make the throw no matter who's coming after you. So from that standpoint, you got to stare down the barrel of the gun and be ready to go.
I have a feeling I know how you may answer this one, but when you look at the downfield passing game, the numbers are different from last year. We see that. From your perspective, are teams playing you differently, or is there something that's just not working there? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get better, obviously, but yeah, we got to execute better and be better, do this, do that. And, yeah, like I said, I can sit up here and point fingers and do anything everybody wants us to do. Everybody wants us to fail. Everybody wants us to break apart, and that's just not what I'm going to do. So when it comes to the downfield passing, it sounds cliche, it sounds repetitive, but we do have to do better. We have to execute the downfield passing a lot better and make plays.
Are you seeing different ways that defenses are trying to take that away, though?
Yeah, I mean, obviously. You know, teams are doing a better job with their corners and what the refs are allowing guys to do as far as, you know, bumping guys on routes and then holding and all that stuff. And that's not an excuse. If they're going to allow it, we have to play through it. So guys have to stay on their routes. We got to get to the spots we're supposed to be and then make the throws.
Robert, one of the things we got to know about you over the last year and a half is your infectious optimism. Teammates talk about it, how you like to stay upbeat. How much does a season like this try that? And you know, do you sort of have to kick yourself in the pants every now and then to remember to stay upbeat, that sort of thing?
I mean, it's very trying. You know, it's a test. And you're going to be put through tests in your life, and you got to decide how you're going to react to them. You can react in a negative way or in a positive way. I choose to be positive. You know, I don't go out there and scream at guys. And, you know, we talked about this before, but my way of leading, you know, you have to be positive. A guy drops a pass, he knows he dropped the pass. He's going to make that catch for you. If I miss a throw, I know I missed a throw. I'm going to make that throw for them next time. And that's just the approach you have to take towards it, because as soon as you change as a leader, I think guys can see that as well. And when you change, you know, it kind of feels like the ship's sinking. So I'm not going to go out there and I'm not going to change who I am as a person. I'm not going to demand any less out of them, and they're not going to demand any less out of me.
Robert, I'm going to switch gears for a minute, if you don't mind. I was talking to Brian Arakpo earlier, and he said that you and he both have financial interests in a Texas tea company. How did that happen?
Well, we're both from Texas, so that did happen. And, you know, they came to me and him. He was in it before I was, but they brought us both in to work with the company. So it's a great little business they have going on there. And if you want some tea, I have a lot in my garage, so swing by.
Do you have responsibilities with the company? Are you doing any speaking for them, or are you just financial interests? Like, how deep into tea are you?
It's sweet, so it's you know, I just don't want to talk about that right now. Like I said, we're 2-5. We need to win football games and not worry about tea.
If you want.
Yeah, thank you. So we need to. I don't need to hear that. I don't need that to be the headline. Worrying about tea. No, I'm worried about us winning football games.
Rob, I am going to ask you about the offense. When you guys are struggling as a unit, or maybe lacking a little rhythm for whatever reason, do you go to Kyle and say, hey, I think more of this will work? Do you become a little bit more vocal with him, or do you kind of leave that in his hands and kind of let them always kind of decide what they want to do?
That is a tough question that I'm not going to answer, because that's something I have to address, you know, internally, and that's not something that I can come out and tell you guys, hey, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because that's not beneficial. So that's something I'll keep between me, Kyle, and the rest of the coaches and the players.
Obviously, when you're losing games, there's lots of things that get addressed internally, I would imagine. How do you manage the tensions? You know, receivers want the ball more, running backs want the ball more. Obviously, everybody wants to be a little bit better. How do you manage that internally?
I just make sure no one becomes a cancer on your team. And your job as a quarterback is to know how to manage people. And I feel like I've done a good job of that my whole career. And it's just you got to manage different personalities. Everybody's got a different personality. Everybody has to be talked to a little bit different. Everybody gets pushed a little bit differently. So it's just about making sure all those things continue to work. And it's a tough job, but that's what I signed up for, and I'm willing to do it.
Easier now in year 2, now that you've known everybody for a year?
Yeah, it's a lot easier, but when you sit at 2-5 and you're not where you want to be, and you have high aspirations and still do for your season and for your team. When things go wrong, it can test your character, and you have to make sure your character stays strong, and that's what we're trying to do.
Robert, seeing what happened last week, obviously in Denver, you got hit pretty often. Talking to London today and talking to Brandon on Monday, those guys are pretty frustrated with the small target that they have now to hit receivers and running backs and the like. Are you okay with the rules from a quarterback perspective? I got to imagine it's different from your side.
You're talking about them hitting us?
Well, just in general.
Oh, just with the receivers? I cannot touch that. I don't know. The NFL's trying to make the game safer, so I don't know what it's doing. I know with Merriweather and what he said when he came back, and I can't speak for him, but we know him as a person, and he'd never do something like that. I think he was just really frustrated with the whole situation. So it can be frustrating, and there's a lot of frustrating things going on right now around this team and around the league, and you just got to know how to manage it. That's what we signed up for as professional athletes, and we have to do it.
Just to follow up on Chris's question, not specific to when you guys are struggling, but in general during the week, during the game, how much input do you have in plays and what you guys are running?
Yeah, we communicate. I don't know if I have any input as far as I want this play put in. We have our base offense, and that's what it goes with. And I communicate to them what I like and what I don't like.
But are you involved as you guys are putting a first 15 script together, or as you guys are putting a plan together? And then how much different is that from last year at this time, just because it's your second year in this offense?
A little more input, but coaches coach, players play. We always say that. It's the truth. So if they feel strongly about something, that's what we're going to run.
At the line of scrimmage, do you have any more ability this year to change things than you did last year?
Yeah, they're putting more stuff on me at the line of scrimmage as far as, run checks, passing checks, and that's always fun to do.
Ending on a fun, happy note, do you like Halloween? Will you dress up? Will you go trick-or-treating? And what is your favorite Halloween memory?
Favorite Halloween memory, probably dressing up as Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle, when I was younger. So that was fun. I celebrate Halloween and Hallelujah Night. So my church, we always throw Hallelujah Night. A lot of churches don't celebrate Halloween. So, guys come up, dress as David, a bunch of other things, and that's always fun too. So it's a great holiday. Hope everybody stays safe.